But
The button
not on
is pressed.
Don't
We
press
are
a
no
button.
longer.
Don't press a button on request. Press a button on OBS.
True.
By pressing the button, I have saved us all from filth, or so we've been told. The GM is allowed to lie. We might still encounter filth.
But I am trying not to sing the War Games song because I'm probably not that great a singer, so.
Although, technically, this is a space game, so it wouldn't be filth. It would only be filth if it was a fantasy game and we drank milk.
No, that's not how it works.
Milk in space is
Filk.
spilk.
It's a corruption of folk. It's not fantasy, it's folk music that has been turned to fantasy and science fiction.
I am aware of this, however, I like my story better.
Yes, but your story will get people emailing you angry things that you claim you don't understand what folk music is, potentially.
Then we'd get our first fan mail, and I know we have listeners. I'm cool with this.
You know we have listeners. We've got people on the Patreon.
Yeah, this is true, but non-Patreon listeners.
Okay, there is that potential. Yeah. I'm not sure that enraging people with filk stuff is how to do it. Hi everybody, this is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew GURPS Star Wars game where I have thrown out all of the 4E idea that each individual power should be built with advantages and limitations and enhancements and stuff. Ha! No, I've gone back to something closer to 3E psionics because I want to, and it's hilarious. Thanks. With me are Ellie and Eo and Crash, and what happened last time?
Hal would not open the doors, so we found another way in.
Maybe.
Wrong game!
And Tuxa. And Tuxa has not been turned into a Roadrunner.
He was just here for a second.
Yeah, of course it was.
As is Trajectory's way. Trajectory is quantum, possibly in multiple locations at once, until you can see where she is.
I suppose being yanked through dimensions will potentially do that to you.
No, as
Meanwhile-
established.
Well, yes, that too. And
I definitely did not almost throw up in my spacesuit, and I definitely didn't trip on the way out of the airlock and fling myself across several dozen meters of empty space to collide with the far wall instead of the far airlock. The open far airlock.
Of course not. I rode high on telekinesis other.
And you prevented a great tragedy, which is me getting my clothes dirty.
Well, only... Like, some of your clothes are packed up because they wouldn't fit under the spacesuit.
Yes, well.
I believe the cape accoutrement,
Also-
specifically.
Also,
We found and rescued a very angry, bitey woman who is currently sleeping it off in a tent inside the starship. It's a strange situation.
you did lock her in the cargo bay.
With a few
Yes.
MREs to keep her
And drugged
company.
her. Yes, and you drugged her so that she was sedated. Everything will be fine.
Like I said, she's sleeping it off.
And then you went on to the possibly deserted, because there certainly is an empty life pod room there, a station.
Well, you have to be careful how you pronounce that. One wrong emphasis and Rand thinks there's cacti everywhere.
You
And
have
then you went
activated
into
my PTSD. I telekinesis other all of the tables and chairs between us and the new friend to the far side of the wall. Oh, wait. I also just said what we did after that. Also finding a lot of blood. There was a lot of blood.
There was a lot
Yeah.
of blood. I hope it didn't all come from one person.
You never know.
That would have been kind of a prolonged bleeding session.
They'd have to be something like a hut, in which case I'd feel very relieved.
So,
And
you
then
went into... Yes.
now Sen is about to murder a womp rat.
Because you went to a room that was full of broken stuff and some broken cages, and a womp rat climbed out where you could see it and screamed at you
A force scream that
and
pushed
shoved
us
you.
back.
Yes. Yes, I do believe that's what happened.
Ran is impressed and wants to
So,
see what happens next.
let's see. How do I tell it to put everybody in
And
Oh, that's how.
once again, according to the log, Sononi made all of their rolls at the end of the session last time.
Weird.
I thought so.
That for me, it says Beth made. Oh wait, no, that's 26 minutes ago. Beth made a lot of rolls recently, and yeah, Sen made a whole bunch of rolls at the end. Sen retroactively played the game with us.
Apparently. Well, it is Groundhog Day.
The other rolls appear to be still in their correct order.
That's good.
Yes, and Sen's rolls are in their correct order. Well, perhaps not. They're in their correct order in the current log, but Sen's roll is dated now.
Weird.
The ones I'm looking at still say 6 days ago.
Did you scroll down?
Ah, yes. Well, the only explanation I can come up with is that Sen is playing the game in the future.
Yes.
That
That seems to
doesn't
make
seem
sense.
right, but I don't know enough about time travel to dispute it.
I am
So
pretty
long
sure. Sorry.
So long as everything works out, we probably don't have to figure out what's going on.
I am
As long as
fairly
it keeps,
certain. Yeah. So long as they stay relatively close to being in the right order while we're playing, the order afterwards is not as important. And
exactly.
I am fairly certain I have students that have tried to change the time on their computers before handing in an assignment in order to try to make sure that they made a deadline. I haven't the heart to tell them that doesn't work.
I suppose it depends on how far off the deadline they are.
If they post at 3 in the morning, I'm going
mean-
to side-eye them. If they set it to be the
What?
wrong
I mean,
day, they can't connect to the internet and the problem solves itself.
Anyway,
I believe we're about to enter combat with the small furry screaming child. And by child, I mean Womp Rat.
which is going
And-
first.
Well, it got its
It did
first
go.
scream. It did go, so we can start with Sen.
Ah, okay.
Sen? Yes, Ran was clearing a path because some people heard some sort of scuttling, rustling noises, and the path included a womp rat that jumped up on a table that was being moved and then jumped down and took a great offense at you people moving its home around and screamed at you. So,
And I said no to being moved.
yes, you both said no to being moved because you are force users, but that could have been rather annoying. Sen
Careful.
advances on the womp rat.
Careful, it may have a family, in which case we'd have to adopt its younglings and raise them as our own.
Not it.
I'm not picking out names, you're picking out names. There'll be Bitey,
Oh, I'll
and
pick out
Stripey,
names.
and Alvin, and Simon,
Did I
Alvin
not
Jr.
get any points for last session?
I don't know. You should have gotten I think 1 point. Everyone should have gotten a point because you had only just entered combat. You may
Yes.
not have. You got them, right?
I have 2 unspent points right now, so that's quite likely.
Yeah, but
I get 1
you're at
point.
241 and Antix is at 252.
I got 1 point at the end of the session. Crash logged out before points were distributed.
Add your point, Crash.
You know this only makes me more powerful.
Yes.
That's the point of experience points. And yes,
Which,
I made the joke last session that since there was combat in the session, we should get 2 points.
And I side-eyed this. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll get 2 points this session too. Well, this session at least.
I would like
unless
to
Sam was
make
only
a-
advancing to pet. You would like to make an attack, I'm sure.
Yes.
Then, well,
Yes.
roll your
I-
attack.
Would like to make specifically a deceptive attack, which means I won't take a -2 penalty to hit, but if it hits, it will take a -1 penalty to its dodge.
Okay. You appear to have made it by 5, so it has a -1 to dodge.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, I made it by 5. My lightsaber skill is 17.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can make it fascinating. Okay, here's my way to do. There is not. I will just have to manually remember that it's at a -1. It does not make its dodge. Okay, whack a womp rat. Well, I do believe that you have done a great deal
In
of
my
damage.
editor, I should be able to edit my skill levels.
For the listeners at home, that's 11 points of burning damage.
Yes, and I'm trying to figure out why my lightsaber skill level in my attacks is only 16 and why I can't fix that.
That's
Did
weird.
you open your character sheet from the map or from the thing on the side?
From the thing on the side.
Okay, well, that rules out that problem.
In any case, while
Never
you're-
mind that. I rolled my damage. I can roll my damage.
that's the important part.
Oh no.
The Womp Rat, having been reduced to where it'd be making death checks, so in GURPS, has in fact rolled a critical failure, and I suspect you have bisected the rat lengthwise or
Yes.
widthwise or diagonally.
Probably lengthwise.
That sounds about Zenish.
It was facing me.
It was facing you. Okay. Let me just remove that poor thing.
The entire hex is now
Okay.
filled with a large skull. Oh my gosh, you removed its
it's
skull, and the Womp Rat was apparently bigger on the inside. That or it ate an entire human, which would also imply it was
It's
bigger on
just
the
a
inside.
symbol because that's what happens when I put the mark defeated on it.
My
as
story's
you
better.
know.
I'm just gonna sit here and drink my space milk.
I'm gonna leave you in combativeness, shall we say, and move to Ran. I think that's your
I
turn.
am being rather
Sen.
combative, yes.
Yeah.
How many times can I move?
You get 5 hexes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we heard more noises further back, right?
You did.
Okay.
You'll have to make a perception and go against stealth.
Okay. I'm not necessarily trying to pinpoint, although if I can, that'd be fantastic. I just want to know basic direction so I can continue to do path clearing and get a failure by 4.
You can't hear past Sen's howling saber, or, well, it doesn't howl, it hums, but
I will silently mourn the Womp Rat, who I had already named and given an elaborate backstory to. But in the process of mourning, I will continue to clear a path in the general direction of that hole to the south-ish. Cardinal directions don't make a lot of sense on a space station, but still. A map is a map. Knowing that...
hole to the southish.
What's that?
Say that again, where you're clearing towards?
Towards...
Southish.
Southish.
Due south of you?
And... yeah.
Yeah.
And I made that by 11. So I'm good for one thing, and one thing only, which is taking things that are in one place and putting them somewhere else.
Oh, right. I should. Well, what did you make your attack by? By 5, yeah. I should know. They're small. It turns out that they're small enough that you're going to probably be having a penalty for size.
I'm not necessarily trying to move Womp Rats.
No, you're
but-
not. I'm talking about attacking them.
Okay.
Okay, and Tuxa is invisible. And Tuxa, is there anything else you want to be doing?
For the record, I was invisible last session before the Womp Rats showed up.
Yes.
True. Is there anything that you want to be doing besides staying where you are invisibly?
Yes.
Okay. You are picking your way through this whole horrible mess using Force Sense. Made it by 2. You are picking up Well, obviously that was the force being used when it went screaming at you. Well, not at you, at your friends, companions, coworkers.
Let's be honest, at this point,
I feel I should be
friends.
clear that
And Uxa?
I'm using force sense and not detect disturbances.
Ah, yes, good point. Let me.
Force sense is the detect minds one.
There are minds in this room. They are not what you would call sapient thinky minds, but there are certainly minds in this room that do not belong to your compatriots here.
Okay.
I mean, that's a tough but fair assessment of Rand's abilities. Thank you.
Companions, buddies, friends, coworkers.
But also other minds.
There are other minds.
That was.
And I am being careful while picking my way through the debris, but not careful enough, apparently.
There's a lot of debris, and you're in a clompy spacesuit.
Ooh.
And just clicky that. That's fun. I did not, you notice, end combat because, well, womp rats don't usually come in singletons, and you did hear more than one originally.
They spook easily, but they will return, and in greater numbers.
Yeah, basically. Or at least this one sure has appeared out of the rubble that kept moving around. It's rather annoying.
Oh, look, another new friend.
Let's see if the other new friend
I'm
can
just
make
going to
its
move the
roll.
label appropriately.
Yes, it can. Sen, would you care to make a dex roll? No, a strength roll to avoid the fact that it's shrieking at you and you are being pushed backwards? Sen?
Yes.
Yep. Sorry.
I'm here. I'm trying to figure out what I rolled last time
Dex?
because I don't think it was strength.
You have a telekinesis other at the end of the last session.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have TK
Minus
other.
3. Oh yeah, I was defaulting.
Other or self?
TK self. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was rolling self at a default from other.
Yep, that's the one. It's either that or an ST to brace yourself.
Well, I would much prefer to roll
and make it by 1. You are shoved back like a foot, which is below the hex. What's the word? Granularity. So it's not much. You would not have liked to have been shoved back into something though, but you did make it. You made it by 1. So, and that is that screaming little thing's turn, which means it's Sen gets to. Oh, look, another target. I presume you don't want to keep this one and call this one Scruffy.
No, this one's bitey. The next one will be Scruffy.
I don't care what you call it. I care that you break its little skull on the ceiling.
But if I do that, it might drip on us.
Okay, the wall.
Look, if it's going to be blood, find me a bucket.
Are we ever going to live that down?
Nope.
Not if we keep resurrecting it, we won't. It's alive! Well, it was, and then we happened.
You are in a lot of rubble at the moment because it was being shoved around by, well, Ran. So it's going to.
I was trying to clear a path.
You can still get to it. Yes, but in clearing a path, you're shoving things.
Okay.
You're condensing them. You know?
In clearing a path, I'm moving things to another spot, and the other spot is now not a path.
Precisely. You can get there, but I think you're going to have subtract a couple from your move there. If you're moving towards it, Sen. Your turn. You're up.
Oh, didn't I just have a turn?
No.
I mean, you did,
There's
but
another
then
one.
I did a thing that wasn't an attack, and then Tuxa did a thing that wasn't an attack, and then this thing showed up and screamed. So it's your turn again.
Well, I am going to make another deceptive attack.
Okay. I should note these things are small. I should be assessing another -1 for their size modifier to your roll. You made it easily last time, so.
I have moved the label again. It is, I think, still appropriately placed.
Still made it.
Okay, and that means a -1 to dodge,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't figure out. No, I don't think it's going to make that dodge. This means you roll your damage again.
Yes, it does.
Someday I'll get to face off against a Womp Rat. That is 16 points of fire damage. I have a suspicion how this will end.
Yeah, that's. Well, it's not quite as cloven as the other one, but it just isn't going to do very well since it has certainly missed its first death check there.
Well,
Oh.
we used all the special effects
So
budget on cutting the first one in half. Now we're just making them fly out of the shot.
Either that or, you can just sort of get rid of its poor little screamy head. Ran, you're up.
Yes. Okay. Checking for more. Perception roll. In theory, I made it by 12, but if there are any more, I know I'm rolling against stealth.
Correct. That would be what you'd be rolling against. Which. No, you don't know where any more would be. If maybe that's all of them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move 5 more spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I am also apparently a bitey screaming friend. 2.
No, I think that's referring to Sen actually.
Well, right now it's referring to Sen specifically, but
has
I've
not
been
bitten
known to
anything yet.
scream, and eating food is technically biting.
Doing anything else besides your move?
I am going to continue to clear out space to the southish of me. Like picking up larger things, giving them a
Okay.
shake to see if anything falls out, then tossing them into an empty spot.
Okay, give me your roll just to see if you crit fail because that will be hilarious.
Excuse
It
me.
would be.
Hmm?
Yes, Antuxa?
I was joking.
Oh, you don't want to be
I
picked
was-
up and.
I don't want to be picked up and thrown.
Okay.
That's true.
I
you
thought
have-
maybe you wanted the
it takes us
label applied
somewhere.
to you. There we go. I don't want you to feel left out. The image of Antuxa being a bitey screaming friend. Roar.
If I bite and scream, nobody here knows about it.
Mhm.
Okay. I made my roll to clear a space by 11.
There's nothing in the little southeast corner there that you could find except like chewed up flimsies and bits of food. Maybe you really hope that they got into the MREs. It's just scraps. It's fine, really.
MREs? MR for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Including Womp Rats, hopefully.
Including Womp Rats, yes. Well, I will designate this corner to be the move all of the additional rubble to this corner spot so that I am no longer building a wall that prevents us from moving around as I clear paths. And wait for Womp Rats to jump out
Alright.
for Sen to cut in half.
That is the corner to add more rubble. Got it.
Yes. We'll just put all of the rubble that's
Okay.
on fire here with the rest of the fire.
All right. So, Antuxa,
Yes,
is there anything in particular you want to do where you are?
it's possible I'm dodging things that are being thrown out of the way.
I was moving
Being
things,
invisible
but
does
not.
have its drawbacks.
I was not throwing things that far afield. Rand knows that Antuxa is not anywhere Rand can see, so Rand is not saying, "Oh, let's do a spray and pray."
Rand does not wish to be friendly fire.
Correct.
Because if Rand is, then Antuxa will sneak up behind him sometime and punch him in the kidney.
Antuxa has lightning force powers. I'm just not. But more importantly, Antuxa's a friend.
Yes.
Hmm.
This is why Antuxa would probably only punch you in the kidney. Okay. Antuxa is making a hearing roll. That's a good point. Everything's been noisy, hasn't it? There's too much noise going on, Entook, so you hear that Sen's lightsaber is on, and Ran is stacking things on top of other things, and it's going clunk and crinkle and crunch, and ding, 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 as little glass pieces fall out of stuff, and,
No human would ever stack desks like this. Or books. No, that was books in a library. Never mind. Never mind. Continue.
Anything else, Entook?
I don't suppose we remembered to bring breather masks.
We're in full spacesuits, so...
I think we're wearing spacesuits.
Mm-hmm.
We are wearing spacesuits. And if we want to get back to the ship, I want to keep wearing an intact spacesuit. And we're being attacked by things with teeth and claws.
This is true.
I already have enough trouble getting back and forth.
Well, what's that the
Silence.
Bothans say? You only live 9 times?
Don't think Bothans are cats.
They are in the Blue Milk
So,
Special comic.
Oh.
They're supposed to be dogs.
Beth, I'll ask again.
Yes?
I don't suppose we remembered to bring breather masks.
Did you... Let's see. I'm sure breather
I-
masks exist. You have plenty of PPE. Make an IQ roll. See if you remembered.
Oh,
And
Almost
so-
remember to bring them.
Ran or Sen?
I'm going to spend a Cypher System XP to re-roll that.
I have awarded
Well
enough of
upon in the
those.
force.
Why will you not let me... Why am I in editor view? Why am I able to edit this while I'm not in editor view?
Sen, did you remember to bring a breather mask in case you want to get out of this horribly constricting, annoying, clompy spacesuit?
Apparently.
Okay. You remembered breather masks. Ran made it. I figure that this means that if one of you made it, you asked, should we bring breather masks for everyone? So yes, you can have breather masks if you want.
Okay. There might have been a situation where we had all the breather masks set out, ready to pick up, and one of us had to go back and pick it up after going all the way to the airlock and then having to come back.
Possibly. You have them in your little packs. I will, however, note you're not actually out of the combat yet. So are you done with your round, Antuxa? Your
Yes.
turn? Because there is something that is basically going to fling its little furry self onto Sen.
Ah, it's on Sen's face. Get it off, get it off, get it off.
Can I roll parry?
After it gets an attack, yes.
It leaps at Sen. Sen
I
rolls
roll
parry
parry
with the
against it
lightsaber. It
trying
cuts itself in half.
To get on my face.
It's actually just jumping for your center of mass.
Okay.
I have
okay.
to say, dear listeners, this is an audio-only format, so you miss out on seeing this little Womp Rat icon bounce around on the map and then fly into the same hex where Sen's icon is. And the scale.
And Sen's icon being simply the face. Yes, the scale.
The scale.
Also, I'm going to add it to the thing there, just to have it on the tracker for when you cut it in half, and then I'll have to take it off the tracker. And let's see. No target selected. My butt. Tough luck. Then, yes, you probably want to make either a dodge or a parry. It is springing at you to bite. It made its success by 6, so you better be parrying or something.
Hold on, I'm looking something up.
Okay. Let's fix its size modifier. Stuff I stole it from should be... This one's a little smaller. Full view. Did I make all of these stats myself? I did not. I found things that looked close enough in the GURPS character sheet files, and I reskinned them with Womp Rat icons. Dear listeners, remember, you can always reskin things so they look... Yeah.
And by reskin, we mean you take the thing's name and give it a different name and then say,
And put in a
It's
different
this now.
icon. And then say, yes, exactly.
and if you're playing on a VTT, you give it a different
Exactly.
icon. But otherwise, you just give it a different name. And
Well,
if you
you
wanted a
might
more
use
powerful
if you're
thing, then use 3 of them and give them a trench
Yeah.
coat.
possibly.
So,
Do you care
what
to make a
maneuver
parry?
did it make?
It made a normal attack. I need
Okay, then why is it in my space?
because it's small.
And it was funny.
Okay, but it can't enter close combat unless...
I mean, it can move into your space, can't it? There's a
No,
lot of no,
page 391.
no fair.
Hey!
Or citation, page 391.
EO used citation. It's super effective.
Entering a foe's
Proposal.
hex.
In
It's small.
situations where time seems to slow down during a crucial moment, that is when the people running the game that you are in have stopped to talk about the rules and look something up. That or there's a green circle.
Mhm. Using any maneuver allows you enough movement to enter that hex. You're in close combat as soon as you enter it, regardless of your maneuver or that of the foe. If you take a move an attack, or all attack maneuver, you can always run into a foe's hex and stop there, facing him. So, yes, unarmed combat. Entering foe's hex. If you do not wish to stop, you may attempt to evade or slam your foe. Page 368. Yes, can I slam you with a womp rat?
I just had the image of the GM materializing, grabbing the Womp Rat by the tail and swinging at its end like a baseball bat.
No. It would be going a slam roll, which, well, that's fascinating. It doesn't actually have it on that page that it was supposed to have it on. What the criff? It's on 371. Okay, that was just a bad.
Where's the combat thingy? The
The combat thing.
crumbs thingy.
The Crombat, which
Yeah.
is not actually Crom's personal house rules. It's stuff he came up with. People should not think it is
Yeah.
official, even from Crom. It is.
Because I can't find it in the pins.
Well, that's annoying. Let me.
There it is. You put it in a PDF. Okay.
Okay, so it is in a PDF?
Yeah.
It's in there? Okay, good. Great. Now I have to make sure I've got it open, which is going to be gaming. It's in, not there. There we are. Okay, now I can have it open too. Where is it? There it is. Maneuvers. Choose one. Attack. Up to full move. Make one unpenalized attack.
Well, he didn't say what it would do to close combat, and I'm annoyed.
That's probably because what I'm reading is that what all it has to do is move into close combat to be right there facing you, basically. It's just small enough that I can actually put it on your icon.
Yes, but
which
the
is
thing
hilarious.
about close combat is that it penalizes the defender.
Oh, I will not penalize you for making a dodge roll because it's running in here. It is running at you. You have combat reflexes. You can make your dodge roll and get out of the way of it, or your parry roll as it is jumping towards you with its little teeth clashing. Okay. I will move so you can select your character to roll.
I can parry then.
You can parry.
Made by 3.
And I don't think it gets to dodge your parry because that would get very recursive now, wouldn't it?
Can we all take a moment to admire the fact that the Womp Rat's attack is referred to as a nibble?
Yes. That's okay. If it hit, it would be allowed to be doing a chomp. I'm just going to show you the chomp. I'm not actually going to take this as an actual roll, but I just have to see. There's a chomp. There's a chomp version. There's nibble and there's chomp. Well, considering that you are parrying with a lightsaber, I think you get to roll damage on that.
Oh no!
This is probably why we don't bite the person who has
the
lightsaber.
That's the most damage so far. That's 21 points of damage. Where Ran is located,
I guess
this thing
maybe
jumps
it did
at Sen.
bite the
It's going to get bisected, and half of it's going to fly directly towards Ran. Can I roll the dodge?
Yeah. Yes, you should roll to dodge.
What?
Because you're attacking it, so it's probably going to have some momentum being
Oh.
batted
Oh.
towards it jumped towards you from it would attack and then whack, so I mean you were probably spinning as well, so it's trying to get at you and you know. Yes, Ran, make a dodge. I think you should make a dodge.
Might I add telekinesis self to the roll?
Yes, you may. Roll your telekinesis self, and
That's
is a
a
critical
crit.
success. Roll your dodge just to see if it's a crit failure,
Okay.
because that would be hilarious.
How do I dodge? It has been so long since
Okay.
I dodged.
Scroll over to where it says encumbrance, move, and dodge on the right side of your sheet.
Oh, I didn't need to scroll for that. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, mine, I use the big font, so I have to scroll to see it. Clicky on the dodge number. I should have put you all in light encumbrance, but whatever. Just clicky on it and don't crit fail.
The one where it says none?
The
I have
one,
dodge for
yeah, the
none,
one where it says
light,
none.
medium, heavy, and X heavy.
You should have 2 arrows pointing at the none.
Okay. Oh,
and
and
just
it
go
turns out
across
that's
where
the
it
one I
says
can click
dodge,
on.
and it lights up. Correct. And you
I
have
made that
it
by 4. I dodged the
And you had a crit
individual
success.
droplets of blood.
In your spacesuit, which honestly ought to be making dodge a bit more difficult.
Well,
yes.
I was confused about
telekinesis
how close
self.
combat worked anyway.
Oh, okay,
The
good.
thingy was not, the page was not clear, but there's a fact about it that says that you're supposed to apply all of the stuff after the attack on entering close combat is resolved.
Whatever.
Well, you
We'll
know
know
how
next
when
time.
kids are playing with
Yeah.
action figures or dolls and they move the whole action figure around rather than moving the limbs individually? With telekinesis self, that's kind of how Ran mostly does the dodging.
Just sort of tip back and forth, pip, 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 pip.
Yes.
You
Imagine
bend
that
over
my center
hard.
of gravity is in my boots.
You tip backwards on an angle as the head of the Womp Rat flies over your faceplate, barely not dripping on you. Snap back up to standing.
I weeble, I wobble, I don't fall down.
Somehow, even you were not quite sure how that worked. It was all reflexive.
It is all going to my head.
Indeed.
Except for the Womp Rat.
Indeed. Then you whacked a Womp Rat. You don't
Yep.
see any others at the moment. It's technically your turn.
That's right. It died on its own turn.
Correct.
Yes, because it attempted
To lick the lightsaber, as
fling
Ellie has
its
pointed
little
out.
furry body at the person holding a plasma sword.
Yeah.
Do not make unarmed attacks against the...
Well, it's not like the others were doing very well.
Sen turns invisible
Okay.
and is going to
All right.
sneak off trying to look for more Womp Rats. Because where are they all coming from?
The rubble.
Where have
There's
all
a lot
the
of
Womp
it.
Rats gone?
No, where have they all come from? I know where they're going.
Cotton Eye Womp Rat.
Where have all the Womp Rats gone? Attack Sen unwisely, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
For these
Brad.
3, never.
Well, they certainly have learned now.
Unless Mysteries gets involved. But never mind about that.
They use the Force, they might create Force ghosts.
I award you 1 Cypher System XP.
Thank you.
Keep track. I'm not going to help you level up.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. As someone who refuses to turn invisible because I'd have to level up a skill. Actually, I'd have to give it to myself.
That is
Regardless.
telekinesis.
Yes.
You'd have to
1,
learn the
2,
skill.
3, 4, 5. I am going to
Okay.
listen.
Listen.
I
Nice.
am going to roll 2 1s in that,
And a 6.
but 2 1s, which means I made it by 4.
All right. Let me scroll back and look at something that I rolled a while ago. You hear nada. In fact, I will. And Tuxa, your turn. I will think about ending the combat one, but is nice to keep track of who's doing what when.
It is nice.
I'm coming back up here to what is ostensibly a clear area and
Semi-clear. Yeah.
starting to peel out of my spacesuit.
All right.
I assume that's going to take at least a round.
Yeah. Especially if you want the spacesuit to be usable again after, I think it's going to take you like maybe a minute.
Okay. Then that's what I'm doing.
Especially without help. Okay. If people are doing that,
Oh
I
no,
will.
you should have made me roll an attack roll when I parried.
Oh, I should have. Oh well.
Yeah.
You rolled a parry. You rolled a parry with a horrible Bernie weapon. I feel like
Yeah, but the thing for parrying unarmed attacks with a weapon is that you're supposed to roll your weapon skill.
but parry is lower than your weapon skill, isn't it?
Yeah, but after you successfully parry, then you're supposed to roll your weapon skill.
It's a
As stated in the
parry. You've
rules,
connected.
perhaps, but also the Womp Rat jumped at a ignited lightsaber.
Yeah,
It
that's
did.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a parry riposte. It's a flaming thing. If you are hit with the flaming thing because it is batting you out of the way, then I don't think you can hit with the flat of your saber. I don't
That's
think it
true.
has a flat.
That's true.
It's
I don't think these
I learned
rules are made for
yesterday-
lightsabers.
I learned yesterday that a different version of the Star Wars game allows you to have a stun setting on your lightsaber. I never knew that was a thing before, and it amuses me greatly. I don't see Sen ever using that.
No, I don't think Sen would. Sen does have some disads that rather preclude that.
Sen might tell someone
Just
it was
a
the stun
tad.
setting.
I'm not sure Sen would bother.
It would be very situational. Anyway,
Very. Sen, I'm just gonna keep doing this in order. You're next.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? I should make Antuxa do a vac suit roll at default, since I don't think Antuxa has vac suit. And this will determine how long it's going to take you to get out of the thing without assistance.
Okay.
and are you visible while you're doing this?
Doesn't need to be.
I assumed didn't need to be because it's not a force ability, but I'm wondering if we see
Right,
Antuxa
or an
taking the
attack.
suit off.
I think you're going to see a suit being left behind.
It's a ghost. All right, space station's haunted. At least it's not a moon. It's just a space station.
Next time you get to look at what the default is.
Fair. I just assume it's -5 for anything that I can't remember. Missed
Yeah,
by
but what is it
4.
-5 from?
Oh, Dex or IQ. Yeah, good point. If it's from Dex, then you miss by 4. If it was from IQ, you have missed by 2.
It's from Dex.
Okay.
Environment
you're-
defaults to Dex -4. Dex -5.
That'd be just moving in it, though. So, on the other hand, you have to work all the fiddly little latches with your spacesuit hands. Yeah, you're going to probably just be taking this thing off. You can get the helmet off in, a couple of rounds, and it may actually be taking you about 4 minutes, let's call that.
Okay.
That's not too long. Okay, and we are taking a break while you get your spacesuit off. Since we're just at an hour. Just go for an hour.
Yay.
Something like. Press,
I have finished my croissant.
but not your croissantcle.
No. And that is 90% of the during the break conversation that has taken place.
Indeed.
We made
Your
croissant
croissant
buns.
peanut
Peanut?
I want.
Hmm?
If
It was the first word I thought of that wasn't croissant.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just glad that this water in front of me was halfway to my mouth, as opposed to having achieved its destination before being launched to a new, more exciting destination
Inside your keyboard.
and on the monitors. But we were playing Star
Whoops.
Wars and trying to get these darned suits off.
That's true. And Tux is busy getting the suit off. I'm just going to keep going in order to, keep things running. So, Pauline Tux is busy doing that. What's Sen doing?
Looking for more Womp rats while very invisible.
Everyone's invisible except for
Okay.
Ran. Even the Womp Rats are not visible, just Ran.
Well,
We have faith that if Womp Rats attack you, you'll catch them in midair as they're jumping toward you and bonk their heads together until they stop.
No, I will cuddle them with the Force. Cuddle might imply
The
turning
GM
their
is-
head around 180 degrees, but that's besides the point.
I'm not sure that's a cuddle. I thought you liked them, Ran.
I do, but I also like not being bitten.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ran was hoping to investigate one up close before it was sliced by a flaming sword. But he didn't voice this request.
Nope.
So,
Nor did you yoink one away in time,
no, he did not.
nor state the intent to do so, because there are rules that would possibly have allowed it. But,
Yeah. Okay.
Then make a stealth roll if you are trying to crunch around all of this debris stealthily in your suit.
Does getting a crit success on my invis help?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Roll a stealth roll and don't crit fail.
Okay.
That is not a crit fail.
Then is extremely not there.
Ran
It's
has
kinda
been
creepy,
left
Ran.
all alone.
Your friends. Yes, your friends are gone. You're in a very darkened room that is basically lit by, suit flashlights and a little bit of emergency lighting here and there that's, covered in debris, most of it now.
I
There are
know
dead
this
womp
music.
rats.
It's
It's
Philip
kinda
Glass's
creepy.
4
Where did
minutes 33 seconds.
There
Let's
are
change
the
the beat.
sounds. There are the sounds of a station that has air softly blowing through the vents. Although I'm not sure you can hear those very easily in your suit, it probably filters out. You can hear your own breathing.
Well, that was the thing about 4 minutes 33 seconds. The song was a collaboration piece. The pianist was there to keep time, but the actual music was the shuffling
Silence.
of papers, the
Oh.
mild cough from somebody apologetically 3 rows back, the breathing of the audience. That
Mhm.
was the music.
You,
Anyway,
however, get your own breathing in your suit, all alone, in a dark room with dead, force-capable womp rats, and what if they leave ghosts? How long does it take for a ghost to coalesce anyway? If this place wasn't haunted before, maybe it is now.
I don't sense a great disturbance in the Force. I have not leveled up that ability at all.
Then, making a search roll.
It was technically
Describe
their
what you were
turn.
doing to search. Yes, it's still their turn, technically. Describe what you were doing for your searching, Sen, just so I know.
I am attempting to search the rebel.
Okay, kick it around, shove it with the hand, bend over and move it, walk through.
I am using my hands.
Okay.
And hoping that having invisible hands means this will not get them bitten.
Well, they're not intangible, so if you bump into something warm and
Yeah.
furry, there's no telling.
Yeah, this is yep. That's why I say hoping.
Okay, let's just
Maybe I should
roll
poke with
that. I mean, there are
the
twigs and stuff, and
hilt of my lightsaber or something.
That's possible. It depends on how big the table is. If it is a small table crash and the invisible person picks it up, then it probably joins the invisibility. If it is a large table, it probably breaks the invisibility because part of being invisible isn't just tricking photons, it's convincing the force that you're not visible, you know, and convincing everyone around you that you're not visible. So if you're lucky, people just don't really think about the fact that the table has been picked up.
I love how more
If
than one of us will type something in the chat because we don't want to interrupt the flow of the game. And the GM will still
And then
stop
we-
to address what was typed in chat. I have been
That's
on
because it's
both ends
fascinating.
of this, and I have committed the
I was
crime
gonna
on
say,
both
we learned
ends
it
of
from
this.
you.
Yes, we learned it from you. As Ellie says, we learned it
Yes.
from you.
Well, dagnabbit,
Okay,
I've got a teaching degree. More than one.
Indeed. Sen, you are finding broken data pads. You think that's what they are. They've been crunched. You are finding shredded plastics and flimsies and things that look like they've been used to make womp rat nests, and that kind of looks like it was a human finger once, maybe. It's dark. You can't tell. Do you want to tell?
No.
Yeah, it's maybe it's just somebody's meat stick snack, you know?
We're going with that. I don't want to deal with a finger.
Okay. Bran, you're all alone. There's nothing but some womp rat corpses around.
I'm listening.
You just made it. You hear your breath in the helmet. It's almost like that ASMR, however that's spelled out, you know, this just the soft shuff of your breath, the faint air pumps that are keeping your air nice and breathable from your air tanks. Silence.
I take off the helmet to listen better.
Okay, you have
Undoing
your,
all the latches at the same time.
made it by 6. Yeah, that's probably click lift.
I take the
well,
helmet
yeah,
off
it's
as
supposed to be
easily as someone
self-sure,
docks
yes.
a cap.
Basically, yeah, you just sort of put your hands up to your helmet. All the latches go click. You remove the helmet.
Meanwhile, Antuxa's over
Grin.
there. We can't see Antuxa, but Antuxa's like, get the... I'm
This is
making the noises that
what
Antuxa
hap-
probably would not make because we cannot see Antuxa. And this is audio only.
Right. Antuxa is making faces where no one can see her. Nothing flies at your face, at least. Isn't that nice?
What's really funny to me is if Ran was able to know that Antuxa was trying to take the suit off, Ran would want to help and would probably be able to help from here. But Ran can't see Antuxa, and as has been established, can't even hear Antuxa. So
Antuxa made her invisibility by more than you made your perception.
And then
although you may hear some faint rustling here and there, but it's hard to tell.
Do I still
Antuxa,
have my
you're
movement?
still taking things off. Do you want your movement?
If I have it available, I'll take it.
Okay. You'll need there's a lot of rubble. You might want to be down to a move of 3 or 4, depending on how stealthy you're trying to be.
I'm not trying to be stealthy. I'm bait.
Oh. Well, in that case, you get the move of 4, crunch, crunch, crunch.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need to be stealthy. I have telekinesis other 22.
Fair enough. Oh.
I've aggroed the question mark dice.
All right.
Combat continues.
Antuxa, it's your turn. Percy. Excuse me, we have aggroed the snot monster. Oh my god, what did you do? Slug. How did that do happen? It's disgusting.
Dear listener, some
Excuse
cats
me.
have allergies.
Percy has what the vet once described to me as feline nasal herpes. and allergies. And he just put a whole bunch of them onto the keyboard of my spare computer over here. I'm trying to rescue the keyboard before it is. Ew, ew, gross, gross. Ew. Percy, you're disgusting. Okay, the protective thing needs to go back over the keyboard. I don't know how it got moved. There, that's safer. All right, where were we? Antixu still taking things off?
Yes, unless there's a threat to me or a threat that I can deal with, you can go ahead and skip my turn
Okay,
until we're out of combat, because that is
I am going to check.
what's the
That's what you're
duration
doing.
of each combat round?
Since I'm using the Crom thing, it's actually a Oh, excuse me, getting clawed on my bare skin here. If I'm using the Crom house rule shtick, then the time is basically 1d seconds per pass through of everyone, which is timey-wimey, fiddly-widdly, gooshy stuff. I will probably check on you
Then
just to make sure that I don't
my
skip you thinking something and saying, wait a minute.
Okay. I'm just saying my current task is going to take me somewhere between 40 and 240 combat rounds.
Yeah.
So
We will
I am.
continue to
You may
progress
safely
through.
assume that that's what I'm doing.
Yes. Okay. Sen.
Sen is continuing to search for Womp rats, this time in a somewhat more sensible manner, aka attempting to poke it with their lightsaber hilt,
Okay. Are you just sort of standing there, or are you moving around?
moving around.
All right. Give yourself 2 or 3, since you're searching slowly, 2 or 3 hexes. Did you do your move?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I had a cat that was stomping in front of the monitor. Unhelpful. All right. Let's just make a roll here, since that's going to be. Why is that? Tab sheet. Not my skill. Oh, yeah, because that's the correct thing. Duh. Oh. Well. Well. That's a problem. I'm going to have to. What's your normal? Your normal move is not 0. Don't do that to me. Ah, there it is. Bran?
Yes. Am I about to have a friend? A friend! You are different.
Basically, there's a reptilian maw that, I'll just reveal that, having snuck up on you with critical success, is lunging for, well, not actually your face, your midsection. I feel like I need to get an image of what this looks like, because, I mean, let's see. Here we are. That doesn't really show the size of it, but I'll just grab this picture here. They're very large reptiles. You've seen them on Dromancast. It's actually a smaller one. It's, instead of having its body be longer than, you counting the tail and its head coming up to your chest or thereabouts, it's only coming up to about your waist, and that's what's trying to bite. Which, these things, they chomp.
I would like to parry with telekinesis other.
Grab it away before it. Sure, give me a roll for that.
More
I
like
really ought to assess the
just
penalty.
stop them.
Parries are where is the thing? It should say where's, why doesn't it say? Well, usually it's melee skills, but it is 3 plus half the skill round down.
Let's go with that, and you can use your TK other on it. 3 plus half your TK other.
I don't know
Rounding
that
down.
math, but I know press button.
What's your TK skill?
My TK skill is 22. I rolled a 7.
All right, so
So-
11 plus
It's 14, so you're rolling against a 14.
rolled a 7 against a 14. You have a very large, snappy, angry lizard attempting to put its teeth at whatever it can. Chomp, 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 chomp. Lash, slash, writhe, writhe.
Now,
It is
I
like
spent
mentally
several
holding a fighting
seconds.
cat.
I spent several seconds requisitioning this spacesuit, and you will not put a hole in it until after I've returned it.
It hisses.
That's pretty much all it can do. I'm not getting close enough for it to bite me.
Barely.
Sen and Tuxa, I assume you're still there. I found something for you to poke with one of your force powers. Or more than one. Or a lightsaber, if it comes to that. Excuse you, you are not getting closer to me. You stay there. Social distancing.
I decided I decided it should be a 2-hex creature, so you know.
And it just drifted over into my hex when you did that.
That's why I had
as
to
I'm
move
talking,
I
it just sort of
moved it.
slowly floats towards me to get a nibble. No. Bad. I roll to smack with rolled up newspaper.
That was out of character, didn't happen.
True.
Probably. You were talking to Sin and Tuxa.
Yes. I'm not going to move from this spot. Well, actually, it's not my turn. It was the monster's turn.
Indeed. Talking's a free action. Sen, look, Rand found a friend. It's big.
And it's currently still in one piece.
Do I get a bonus for breaking invisibility by attacking?
Define bonus. Also, you're a little far from it.
No, I'm not. I have a saber staff. I have reach 2.
Right.
Well, I have reach 1 and 2.
It's being held immobile. Although it's flailing around. It probably has a penalty to defenses.
I made the roll by 7. How much would it be able to flail?
You were mostly
Well-
grabbing it. You rolled a 7 out of 14. Yes, made by 7. So it can flail. It's just not flailing towards you. It was a parry. You will have to readjust your grip on it.
So it is more literally the GIF I just found.
Yes, that's a good one. You've basically got that sort of aimed at however high you grabbed it at, probably the height that it was at. So
Yeah,
did
I
it
didn't
want
move
to
it.
get it your midsection?
I just stopped it in midair. The distance is not changing. The altitude is not changing.
Yes, right.
I'm assuming it was a parry. It wasn't an attack roll.
Right. Something was coming at you and you went, no.
Bad.
Very bad.
Okay.
And now
so
it's
with that said,
hissing to him.
now Sen wants to use a pokey stick.
It will probably have a severe disadvantage because it does not see the pokey stick coming if you're breaking your stealth
Yes.
there.
Oh.
That was almost
Yeah.
a fail,
Yeah.
but you made it by 1.
It's
Is going to have a penalty on a dodge, but that is a thing going down, and well,
Sen's lightsaber skill is fast approaching my telekinesis skill. You rolled a 16 with 3d6 and still succeeded.
Yes, because my skill is 17.
Yes.
Mhm.
Glass
Yeah.
cannons, glass cannons, glass cannons. Wait,
I am
actually,
not
no,
a
you are not
glass
a glass cannon.
cannon.
It's I said that, and then I was like,
You
wait,
can make
no,
it.
Sen's also good at this, and that. And, oh yeah, that too.
And also I have 3 more hit points than you do.
Yes. You are better than me in many ways.
And hard to subdue too. Most of them involve hitting things.
You're our tank.
how much
And
damage?
It's
DPS.
hitting me.
Would you like to roll for damage, Sen? It did not manage to flail out of the way.
Possibly flailed into it.
There's a lot of flailing going on.
That was there's
It's a
3
lot of
fives in that.
5s.
That's That's 18 points of fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
Your vorpal blade goes snicker snack.
The thing, though grievously wounded, flinches, hisses, and continues to snap around.
It doesn't seem to be
It's a
calming
little
down.
Most things don't when you stab them.
I mean, there's several womp rats behind us that are perfectly calm right now.
And now it's officially your turn, I think. Send his head move and attack.
Okay. What are the chances that I can snap its neck with telekinesis other?
High. Unless it, resists somehow.
Which is a possibility. We already have 4 sensitive womp rats.
With a
But I rolled a critical success with a 5. I made the roll by 17. I made the roll by 1 more
Mm-hmm.
than what Sen rolled with the last roll.
Mm-hmm. You rolled a 5. You can, in fact, snap its neck, but you do feel some kind of resistance in the force to doing so. It's sort of vague and untrained, but and you easily override it with your critical success.
All right.
But you felt something resisting you. It goes limp.
Sen, this is going to sound incredibly wrong, but I'm glad we're here now. The womp rats weren't the only force sensitives. This thing resisted me. Not well, mind you, but it did resist me. If it had had time to learn these abilities, I might have broken a sweat. And Tuxa, are you okay?
In her distraction, Antuxa has forgotten she's invisible and gives you a thumbs up that you can't see.
I award you 1 Cypher System XP. You get the point back that you spent earlier. And Tuxa?
Sure.
Oh, I do hope she didn't wander off. That's my turn.
And I have taken everyone out of combat time. I will simply have to remember to go through. And Tuxa, they're still talking to you.
And Tuxa doesn't realize that she's muted in the channel. And
My head is inside the spacesuit. I can't respond.
Sen, where did Antuxa go? Oh no.
you didn't see any doors
Oh,
opening and
now
closing,
I'm
did you?
concerned. No, I didn't.
I'm looking for signs of an invisible Antuxa.
You made your perception by 3.
But how stealthy is
and
Antuxa
Tuxa-
right now?
Interesting question. Roll stealth, Antuxa, for how quietly you've been trying to remove your spacesuit. Made by 1. You could hear some noises up towards the, quote, north, unquote.
I love that the most challenging encounter we have this evening is self-imposed. I absolutely love this.
That's all right. I'll just be making notes here for later.
Marco.
8 by 2. Are
I-
you going to be trying?
I'm trying to find
you-
Antuxa.
This is
Or
probably
possibly
going to be
another
that you have
large
to sort of walk. You could walk. You're walking around with your arms sort of spread wide to try and gently.
I am not
bump
actually
into
walking with my eyes closed, but yes, I am walking with my with one arm out. The other arm is still holding the helmet. Listening for signs of Antuxa, getting increasingly more worried that something grabbed her. Looking for air vents that are mysteriously, like, not blocked with claw marks around them or something. Signs of blood. Lightning strikes. Very fashionable scraps of fabric.
Sen, are you assisting me? Yes, they would be very fashionable. Antuxa has,
For the
has made
record-
her artist fashion textile by 5.
Yes, incredibly fashionable scraps of fabric. Also looking for signs
Search
of a
is going to
possible
take-
roadrunner.
Mimi. Sen, while Rand's doing this, which is going to be taking at least several seconds to do a proper search.
I am going to keep my eyes out and my lightsaber on and defend the others from whatever while they're doing whatever it is they're doing.
Give me a perception roll. Okay. I will take note of that. Made by one. Okay. It's rolling for people. Don't mean to roll for people. I just happen to have people selected so that I can see what you people see because of all the, doors and whatnot.
I'm just waiting to be told that I'm allowed to be out of my spacesuit.
Oh, it's going to take. I'm trying to figure out if Ran is going to thwap you accidentally across the head before you get out of your spacesuit. It's going to be a very near thing. Ran is wandering around with one arm open and probably across your vision while you're getting out, and you're getting out of your spacesuit, and
I would probably be swinging my arm at waist level because I do not want to
okay,
smack
so
Antuxa across the head.
for entertainment, Rand's successful search is probably going to coincide with, all right, you are standing up mostly out of your spacesuit. You could step out of it now, and Ran, for whatever strange reason, has just thwapped you across the hip.
Oh, there you are. That or one of the denizens here have discovered how to be invisible using the Force. I would not be surprised at this point, but Antuxa, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, we've been calling
Do you know
for
I
you
haven't
for
heard a
some time
thing
now.
that's gone on? It's very difficult to hear when your head is inside the body of the spacesuit.
It's also very difficult to find you and help you when you are invisible.
Yes, well, I felt that a higher power decided that I should not be out of that spacesuit until all the excitement was done. Anyway.
Well, you did miss the large lizard that tried to eat my midsection, yes.
Oh, that does sound exciting. I'm almost sorry I missed that.
Would you like to poke it?
Not particularly.
It was Force sensitive.
All right, maybe a little.
I knew I could win you over.
Antuxa reappears wearing this.
A
Antuxa
fashionable
is
black
wearing
outfit with a fancy
Mhm.
purple and black cape.
Yes.
Still
The
allowing
black
for a lot of
outfit
freedom of movement.
has little decorative clasps on the front. It's fairly tight. Long sleeve pants, and the cape is a glorious purple with large floral roses in black. Is the word applique or is that print?
I think that's applique.
Okay.
Also, the pants
Either
appear
that
to
or
be
embroidery.
bell-bottoms. I could be wrong.
I think you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
That would allow for easier
is.
donning of boots.
Mm-hmm. Underneath, yes.
Well, I was just about to ask if you'd been injured or disoriented. After all, if you needed healing, then I would have something to do. But it seems you and Sen have, been busy.
I'm assuming that the lizard
It was
corpse...
just a few critters.
Just a few, yes.
You're
Although
bringing...
there
Sorry, Gil?
are likely more.
Sen said, it was just a few critters.
Ran, you're bringing the corpse over?
Yes, I'm assuming that as a corpse, it does not resist this time.
It does not resist. It is dead. Oh, look. It's a sleen.
Oh, I am also wearing gloves to match the outfit, but I'll take one of them off to do the psychometry. I do hate this part.
Yes, but I never learned.
Made by two. Well, the first thing is the extremely unpleasant sensations of a sleen dying by being hit by a lightsaber, saber staff, and then having its neck broken. Ugh. The rest of it is it's been lying hidden amid the rubble, waiting for things to get close enough to it to chomp them. It's eaten a few womp rats, you're fairly sure, that did not see it for some reason when, they were basically just sort of strolling along, sniff, 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 looking for food, and then suddenly chomp. It feels like they practically walked into the thing's jaws. Further out, it's blurry. There's impressions of being in some kind of cage, and then there was fighting and things and biting, and and you're not getting much beyond that. Something bit it
Hmm.
during a fight.
Remind me never to die, darling. It seems very unpleasant.
I recall you saying that you had no intention of doing so already.
Yes, but one always could do with more reminders of one's own virtues.
Sometimes it's nice to be told things, yes. I drop the sling.
Well,
Antuk said you can sense things whispering and chittering in the force around you. It eddies and flows. Things died here.
Mm.
Perhaps they've left ghosts.
well, yes, I can see 4 of them.
Indeed.
But none of them should still be chittering.
They're only chittering to Antuk, so it's fine. It's probably fine.
Death suffuses this place. I mean, we're from Drummond Cost, so I'm used to it. But I just thought I would point it out.
And there's none of the friendly lightning showing that Droman Kaz hates you in particular.
Yes, it isn't the space station that hates us. It's everything that died here.
Given the lizards, this is starting to remind me uncomfortably of the swamp mission.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I understand Rand did already bring up the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least here, the blood that's outside of bodies is where it's supposed to be. Makes walking through it unpleasant, but... Oh, by the way, Antoxa did back up when Rand dropped the sling, so as not to get any splatter on her boots.
That is fair.
It shouldn't have any splatter. Lightsaber wounds cauterize, and it had its neck wrung. It didn't tear it to pieces.
There's ooze.
Yeah, but then you also dropped a dead sling from a height.
Wasn't that far, but yeah. And also, the bodily functions and
And I did kind of stab it.
even if it cauterizes, that does tend to leave it a bit what's the
Oozy.
right word? Oozy. Drippy. I mean, it's not drip, drip, drippy. It's just sort of moist.
Well, I would
Ugh.
have put it in a spot where it wouldn't make a mess, but I'm just going to gesture at the room that we're in
Already a bit of a mess.
and the station
Just out,
around the room that we're in.
just
Anyway,
out of curiosity, Antuk, so what are you doing with your spacesuit that you have stepped out of so elegantly?
despite the timing, that is actually what the artistry roll was for. I am going to arrange it in such a way that it's it's in an artful pile by the door we came through,
Okay.
but deceptively piled. So what I'm trying to do is make it look discarded, but actually make it fairly organized and easy to put back on.
I will draw a little spacesuit polygon there with this random pokey bit out
Okay.
to one side. Like there, about there.
Yes,
I cannot draw a nice, tidy polygon. It will be like that.
that's fine.
Okay.
The intent is that if there's somebody else on the station and they come across the spacesuit, they'll think it was a discarded spacesuit and not like
Hopefully not
someone
messed
is deliberately arranging it to come back to come back to.
So thinking the rest of us should do that too.
Well, we do have to get back across the vacuum of space in order to get to the ship, and we are being attacked by things that bite and scratch.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
And while it would be a great tragedy if my clothing were damaged by
where is that
biting and
latch?
scratching,
I have crit failed by rolling an 18.
No,
No, 17.
You have merely failed because your skill is high enough. 17 is a mere failure, and 18 will always be a crit fail.
Okay.
And Tux has failed a dex roll by 1.
where is it? On mine, it was right here.
Well, then mine should be wait.
I'm not going to.
No. Did I put this on backwards?
I wondered why your feet looked funny.
Dex average. Dex average is a -5 default or a -4?
-5.
Okay.
It turns out my suit is not made by the same manufacturer. It is technically a knockoff.
Possibly. I mean, you found all the stuff before, and they do have the appropriate things that light up, so you got them on safely, and now you're having to get them off again. It's not like you do this all the time.
It's not like I can do this at all, even with Ventuxa helping me. Neither of us can find the right things. Oh my gosh.
Said.
Then rolled a failure as well.
Going to take a while. I'm going
Apparently,
to make a little roll.
The only way to do this apparently is to turn invisible while your friends are in combat.
While Zen and Ran are struggling with their suits, and Tuxa has wandered over to touch one of the rats. Made a psychometry by 8. First of all, it is very unpleasant to be bisected, but it was at least very quick.
Oh yes, I'm touching the head half.
Well, I think this one was bisected down the middle, so right half or left half.
Oh, then it doesn't matter.
Okay. It was unpleasant.
Oh, you were right with the plasma sword parry things.
thought so.
There's a special rule for force swords, which is
Do not touch.
yeah.
If you jump towards something that
Um,
can cut through a door, you're not gonna have a good time.
No. And Tuxa made psychometry by 8. First of all, the thing died. Second of all, the thing was angry because something was messing with its lair, and it was going to attack. It was going to attack in its new way where it was angry and it channeled its anger and it screeched at things and things fell backwards and things broke their necks. It was not happy about this not actually working. It was hiding. It was go back further. It was wandering around because it got out, because it scrabbled and scrabbled at the door, and it knew how the tall things unlocked doors, and it scrabbled and scrabbled, and finally the door unlocked, and it went wandering. And before that, it was being treated because it had been bitten, and there was biting and blood, and it was licking up blood. And before that, it was in a cage, and people came and gave it food, and sometimes they, and water, and sometimes they poked it with things or made it go to sleep, and then it woke up again. And before that, it was small and suckling at its parent in a burrow, and then things came and took it, and there is no before that.
And his name was Benjamin Button.
No.
Hmm.
Well, it's dead now anyway.
Interesting. These things are dumb animals, but they're not as dumb as I think I expected. And the Sleen, I think, was using the Force to disguise itself, or at least cloak its presence.
It did seem to come out of nowhere. I assumed it was simply a skill issue on my part.
No, I don't think it was. And this one figured out how to unlock a door.
Oh no, velociraptors.
Telekinetically?
Velociraptors. Telekinetically? Your impression, Antuxa, is that it was not necessarily touching what unlocked the door with its little paws, but it's not. The memory of it is that the scrabbling was somehow integral to unlocking it in its mind.
I will communicate that.
Why do people have to get brilliant ideas like, let's make all of these animals force sensitive?
Wait, the door to here opens with a handprint.
Yes, it does.
I assume Womp Rat paws are not the same size as our hands.
Oh,
Or
no,
on the guest list.
It's cage door.
Neither were we.
Oh.
I think it got here through the vents.
There are also some things in here that look like they might have been animal cages before they got trashed.
Well, regardless.
Did we leave
better
that
keep
door open?
looking, huh?
I think so. It's open now.
I hope not. Actually, no, I hope we did because the alternative is bad.
I assumed you
Here.
people have left it open, but,
No, it's closed. We can all rest assured that when the power goes down, we won't be able to get back to the airlock.
I have a lightsaber.
That's fair.
And you have me as well.
I mean, I have a lightsaber too, but
you
Where's Sun
have
and
my
Rand putting
lightsaber
their...
and my lightning. And me. Just me.
And where are you two putting your suits that you have managed to struggle out of with the assistance of telekinesis?
Over with the other suit.
Okay,
Not
I will assume
stacked
they're all in
nearly
a
as
pile there.
neatly or inconspicuously. Or at least Rand's isn't, because Rand doesn't care to.
Well, there is that.
Rand is placing his in a way where if things are hitting the oscillating air circulation device, he would like to put the suit on very quickly. So it is arranged so that is facilitated.
Let's see. Does that fall off where you can't actually see it? It's you. Ah, okay. Let me do a quick wall thing.
Also,
Have
I
you noticed
appreciate
Sen staring at this little?
Yes.
I
I will
appreciate that the
also-
space for Antuxa's suit is taking up now we each take up 1 hex. Antuxa's suit is taking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to count those 2 as 7 because of the partials. 7 hexes.
Yes, well. I
Antuxa's is an art installation.
had to draw. Well,
Hey,
yes. I mean,
And,
actually,
and
that
Tuxa
would
rolled
count.
artistry for this, and Tuxa's is an art installation. There is a plaque on the wall here. I have to say, I do appreciate the artist statement being included.
Indeed. Now, these are quadrants that I have of the station that are not all in one nice thing. So I have had to improvise because I don't know how Ellie managed to make it teleport from one to another by putting a door where it doesn't really have doors because the person who drew the maps did not think about this very well, to my annoyance.
You have
Anyway,
to
if
do
you
what I
step
do
through,
and
you
make
will
us
see-
Kool-Aid Man to a different spot.
Yes, well, I'll make you all step through the door before you do that. Then you can then I can see what you actually see when that happens, because, whoops, that will be hilarious to me.
Look, I see toque. No, it's not a toque.
Go ahead and
It is
step
not
upwards.
a hat. It is not, in fact, two quadrant. To quadrant 2.
To quadrant 2. So, give me a moment to Kool-Aid you over to where you should be. Don't move. No moving.
we
Yep, that's right. That's right. You gotta do
I-
a we.
I wiggle.
And
you haven't installed the instant move.
I have not installed the instant move. No, it is a tragedy. One moment. I apparently haven't. Oh, okay. That's what I did. All right. That's clever of me. Whoops. No, that's
And
not.
Rand spins like a top.
It's
The whirlwind that's carrying us is
in my family we refer to cats doing that when they're picked up as squirmy worm.
I mean, that's fair. Okay, let me make this actually. Come on. That's right. That ought to close off so that I can actually make everything all linked up. Dip.
I think I saw Antuxa twirling too.
Yes,
Yes, you
I was.
did.
she was.
I'll put all you twirly people there.
And then I had to manually reset my rotation because it had settled on rotation that it was not an even multiple of 90.
I just rotate by holding the shift key and using the arrow keys.
I was too. That rotated me 90 degrees each time.
Huh.
Small hallway. There's a door to the south. There's a door in front of you. The door to the south is a sort of normal door. The door in front is one of the irising doors that is marked with an X that, causes... There's a word. I had a word. It looks cool. They open up in an iris. They close up in an iris. They're supposed to be more secure. That kind of thing. It's all fun.
Rand has opened the door
I'm
to the
also-
south. There are Gumbies on a table.
There are a couple of... Okay, that thing that Jabba had as a pet? The monkey lizard thing?
Oh, the thing that laughed.
The thing that laughed. There's a couple of them sleeping on the top of a bunk bed. And it's 9 o'clock. We should probably stop there.
I close the door immediately.
Yeah, Kawaki and Monkey Lizard. A reasonable choice. Shall we end it there? Since it's 9 o'clock and you have class tomorrow.
I do.
Oh,
So for ending it here.
thank you all for playing.
Yes.
You get 2 points for combat.
Yay! And you were saying thank you all for playing.
Yes, thank you all for playing, and thank everybody for listening. I hope that all the listeners had fun. I had at least some fun. I hope the players had a little fun. Oh wow, you're gonna find some really fun stuff next time if you look in all the doors. That'll be entertaining. So does anyone have anything they'd like to plug? Don't
I'm
make me
informed
plug my
that-
own stuff. Yeah.
Your child's mom writes books.
Indeed. ElizabethMcCoy.com. And I should be on Hoopla now, as well as on Overdrive, so you can ask your library. And if the library has an agreement with Hoopla, I guess you can just get the books and the library pays a small fee or something. I think that's how it works. It's so cool anyway, because libraries, you can get them and I get paid and you get to read them for free, and it's wonderful. And I completely support this. And if you decide that you really like the book and can't live without it and might have to worry about it being on hold from somebody else reading it, you can buy your own copy wherever legitimate ebooks are sold. And speaking of wonderful things, actually, Ellie, do you have a website you want to plug yet?
No.
Okay. So speaking of wonderful things, Crash,
Croissants.
they are wonderful.
Yes. Chocolate.
Also wonderful.
AaronBSmith.com/cogwheel.
Excellent.
That's where we put the podcast, by the way. Or you can follow us on the Fediverse. It is aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. Or you could support us on Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Thank you to all of our illustrious supporters, including Ellie, Shanshan, Walter, Liv Droman, and Patron Emeritus Cindy.
Until next time, this is Beth saying, good night, everyone.
Good night. Also, I now have telekinesis self 19 for everyone's reference. I'm going to make
Okay.
this look even better.
I see. Does anyone else wish to improve their characters before they log off?